Why did we not talk about Jeff?
He's
What's wrong with Jeff?
He's a great guy. He works for Greg. Has for years. He paints boats.
So how long have you met Greg? How long have you known Greg?
Well, we first started together in the 8th grade.
8th grade.
8th grade. It was math class. And
What was the teacher's name?
let me think a minute. Mr. Brown.
Dr. Brown?
No, it wasn't Dr. Brown. It was Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown, okay.
And Greg goes, how do you remember that? I don't know, I just do. Because I had written something to him one time, and I said something about meeting him in Mr. Brown's math class. And he goes, how do you remember that? I said, because I just do.
So when you first met Greg, did you ever think that you guys would end up living where you're living and he would be painting boats?
No.
Isn't that funny how things work out?
It is funny how things work out.
Yeah.
And Tony, the guy that does my hair, he's very successful. He has his own company and Salon Synergy it's called, and he does very wealthy people's hair, but he also does mine. But anyway, he lived next door to us, and when Lisa was, I don't know, 9 years old, 8 years old, something like that, his brother and Lisa used to ride their bikes to go to the elementary school together.
They were friends.
Yeah. So we've known them forever. And so one day, Gene, his dad, who's now passed, is packing up the station wagon.
Right.
And we happened to have a station wagon at that time. And he goes to Greg, why don't you call George, and George is the one that taught him how to paint. Why don't you call George and see if you can take time off and go with us? So Greg called George. George gave him the time off. And the next thing I knew, we were packing our station wagon so fast, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And we just kept putting stuff in our station
Kind of like how fast we moved to Florida.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's when the first time we went to Townsend, Tennessee.
Oh my goodness.
I know it. And there was a little campground, and it was right outside of the Smoky Mountains. And
I'm going to close the front door. I'll be right back.
okay,
Doggies?
is that what they're barking at?
Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on. See, nothing's there. All excited for nothing.
Oh God.
Townsend, Tennessee.
Townsend, Tennessee, and I just remember I was so excited about going, and so anyway, we get up there to this little campground, and we're in tents, okay, and so Tony goes up to get coffee. There was a little camp store, and he goes up to get his mom and I coffee, and he comes running back with the coffee, and he goes, there's snow on Klingsman Dome. And so we had breakfast as fast as we could eat breakfast, and we got in our cars and we started up that mountain. And it was like, wow. The first thing you see is icicles on the rocks.
You were excited about the snow.
Yeah, because I'd never seen snow.
How old were you?
Goodness. How old was I? Well, let's see. What did I say? Lisa was born in, I think how I could figure this out. Lisa was born in 71.
Mm-hmm.
What year would this have been? What did I say she was? How old?
You said she was in grade school, elementary school. You said she was in elementary school.
Elementary school.
She could have been like 10 maybe?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
81, wow.
Yeah. And so anyway, Luann told me everything that I needed to pack. And so we just packed as quick as we could, and we left the next morning at 6 a.m.
Really?
Yeah, and followed them up to Townsend, Tennessee.
So is that one of the reasons why you guys have such a affinity toward Tennessee?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to when Lisa was little.
So that's how Greg started getting into the boat business.
Yeah, Greg, yeah, George taught Greg how to paint. And I remember when there was a time when we lived next door to the Barinos, which is Tony's parents. He used to work for George down on Copens Road. Like, it was pretty far
Okay.
south. And I used to go with him, and I used to sand the boats by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And, I didn't mind doing it. I wore gloves so I didn't mess my hands up, all that kind of stuff. And it was always cool because you were right on the water.
It sounds phenomenal.
It was. It was phenomenal. And then years later, George died. And I can't remember if he had cancer. I think he had cancer. And of course, Jan and I were still good friends. And we live next door on the other side now of the Barinos, at these apartments that were built, and they actually faced the Barinos' house. And so they were new places. So we moved from where we were to the other side of them into these new places. And I remember it was 1980 because Greg's father passed away, and that's where we lived. And
Where was this again?
it was in Lake Park.
Lake Park?
Yeah. And
Lake Park, Florida?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. It was right off of North Lake Boulevard. And it's so funny because I said to Tony the last time he was doing my hair, I said, "So guess what I did?" And he goes, "What?" I said, "I drove past your old house and the place where we used to live. And then I drove to where my parents used to live."
Aww.
I just like to do that every once in a
When we
while.
go to St. Louis, we do the same thing.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's sad because sometimes it changes drastically.
Well, my mom and dad's house is gone.
Yeah. Our house is gone too. Yeah. Yeah. Which I just realized that recently. Because I was, every once in a while, I'll just drive down there and I'll drive in the neighborhood,
Oh, that's
go
nice.
see the house. And somebody said to me, the house isn't there anymore. I think Nikki said it to me. I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "They tore the house down."
And you go like, but I don't have enough pictures.
I know. But I do have pictures.
Oh, well, good for you. I don't.
Yeah.
You ever think your house is going to be gone, So.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was funny because, the pictures back then were tiny.
Mm-hmm.
But I found this picture of our house, and it had my dad had built on a room when my brother was born. And it was like a TV room. They used it as a TV room. And my sister and I, let's see, it was a small house. And so it was their bedroom, our bedroom, and then the bathroom, and then the living room. And then he built on this,
Oh, nice.
what did he call it? It was a bedroom for Michael. But it was a long thing, and at the end of it was this big bay window
Wow.
that he had built. And my sister and I were talking about that the other day when I was with her. I said, "Do you remember it when it was Valentine's Day, and we would sit? My mom had made. My mom was an incredible seamstress, and so she made these nice cushions that were on this window seat that he made, with this big bay window." And I said, "Do you remember us sitting out there writing our Valentine's cards for the kids at school?" And I said, "Remember all the robins that were on the ground, on the yard?" She goes, "I do remember that." And I said, "I remember all we could see was red because they were all just there."
Wow.
I know, it was really, really cool. Um, but I have to say that my mom and dad manicured our yard. Everything was so beautiful. And he had built my dad built a lot of stuff. He built a couple of boats. The second boat that um, he built a cabin so that my sister and I could get down there, and there was bunks down
That
there
is cool.
so that we could take naps.
Wow.
Because when we went out, we would leave at 8 o'clock in the morning and not come back till it was almost dark.
Got to rest.
Yeah, and so he would say, "Okay, time to go, take a nap," and it was always comfortable down there, and it wasn't like the boat was just going like this,
Oh,
and yeah, a lot of good memories. My mom was a cook at the Coast Guard, and so um, she would always make fried chicken and potato salad to take with us,
awesome.
and deviled egg, and yeah, deviled eggs are fun,
Awesome.
right? Yeah, and
That's a
and,
meal I love, fried chicken. So,
yeah, and I just remember we would just do that every single Sunday.
now, what high school did you guys go to?
Forest Hill High School.
Where?
Forest Hill.
Forest
Forest
Hills?
Hill, yeah.
And that's in Forest Hills?
No, it's on Forest Hill Boulevard,
Oh, okay.
but Forest Hill Boulevard wasn't that far from where we lived,
And what city again?
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys, when you went to high school there, did you know you told me a little bit about your guys' relationship? Did you
Oh yeah.
knew each other for the whole high school?
The whole high school we were together. We were together in our junior high, and that's when he gave me his gold football. And I would give anything to find that gold football.
You haven't seen it in a long time, have you?
No, and I'm thinking, did Greg's mother have my gold football? Why would I have given the gold football to her? But I would probably do something like that. But when she passed, we looked through all her stuff, and there was no gold football. So I don't know where it is. It's got to be somewhere though. But it was a gold football, and whoever had gold footballs, that was a big deal. The girls that had gold footballs, and it was a gold football, and it had a blue C on it for Coniston.
Oh my!
That was our junior high school, and so all the girls that had these gold footballs had these special what do you call it?
And the gold football is something that a football team member would give you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's like a jacket.
Yeah.
The gold football.
Exactly. And so I remember I bought a chain. I worked at a jewelry company actually for a jewelry store down in West Palm Beach, and so I bought a chain, and I put the gold football on the chain, and so you had these special. I want to call them a rag, but it was a cloth, and so you always polish the gold footballs. So it was special. I would give anything to find that gold football. I have no idea where it is. I've got like Greg's Exchange Club pin. I've got my Exchange Jet pin. I've got all of those. But
The elusive gold football.
just the gold football. Where is that gold football?
Is your high school still open? Do you still have students go there?
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
yeah. It's not. It's what do they call this kind of school? A community
Magna school? Is it a college?
No,
Oh, okay.
but it's where at nighttime people go there that adults go there at
Oh, okay.
nighttime. What's
Oh,
that
yeah.
called? Yeah. And so yeah, it's still going. This football field is still there.
Oh,
Yeah, if you go down 995, you can see the football field. And then there was this park. I was talking to Glenn about this park before he left to go to LA. When I was pregnant with Lisa, Greg was playing ball. He had gotten traded from the Dodgers to the Giants, and he was not happy about that. And we ended up being in California. I was pregnant with Lisa, and I went to a doctor, and this doctor had glasses about this thick, and I came home crying, And I said to Greg, I don't want him to deliver my baby.
Aw.
So he, the next day, called my doctor that I'd had since I was a teenager, and he goes, Greg, you need to send Sandy home. And so the next day, he comes home from the ballpark with a ticket for me to come home. I said, I don't want to go home. He goes, you need to think about this. You will be home with your mother, who will help you take care of a new baby.
Of course.
And help you with everything. And I was never so glad.
Was this an apartment they provided for you guys?
No.
Okay.
No, we had to find our own apartments. But I remember before we went there to California in Fresno, I hated Fresno. It was how do you call that?
You would still hate it now.
Hodgepodge of people?
Yeah, you would hate it now, too.
Huh?
You would hate it now, too.
I bet. Is it still that way?
It's a horrible place.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not like it there at all. And I did not like it when he went on road trips and I was by myself.
Yeah, so moving back to your mom was a good
It was
idea.
a good idea.
Yeah, it was.
And so I remember I smoked at the time, and I remember flying home, and I sat, and for some reason back then you could fly, of course you could fly on
You could smoke on
airplane.
board.
You could smoke on board.
Yeah, you'd have to wait till you get to a certain altitude, and the smoking sign would come on. Everybody would light up,
Yeah.
and this lethal cloud of smoke would just come flying at you from everywhere. It's like the fog. Yeah. Remember
And
that?
what's funny is that my father smoked. He always smoked outside because my brother had asthma, and but my mother never did because she also had asthma. And so anyway, I come home and I would say to Glenn, I'd call Glenn and I said, Glenn, you got to get me out of here. I've got to go have a cigarette. And he would come and he would take me up to this beautiful park that had these huge trees, and we would wax his car. And he had a little Volkswagen, little bug, and we would wax the car, and then I'd be able to smoke my cigarettes before I went back home. And my mother had to smell it on me, right? But she never said nothing. I mean, because I was an adult, But anyway, I came home.
It's about everybody at that era smoked. Almost everybody did.
Yeah. Like my dad did, my grandfather did.
Oh, yeah.
He lived with us for a while.
Yeah. My dad was smoking since he was 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a hoot. Not really, but he could make his ears wiggle.
Oh, yeah, Joey can do that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a real quick story.
Okay.
Joey had, when he first got glasses, they would fall down like this. Okay, so when we were at Taekwondo, he wasn't allowed to move.
Oh,
So he figured out a way to make his glasses come up by wiggling his ears.
are you kidding?
I tell you, it's super genius, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that happened.
Wow. That's incredible.
Wait a minute, now, your grandfather, was he a Floridian?
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So,
what your grandfather wasn't in okay, I got to get this right. Your grandfather probably was born in like 1880. So,
I had.
How old was he when he died?
I don't remember that either.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I think he went back up there to die.
Oh, back in Pennsylvania?
He lived with my aunt up there, and they just needed a break from him, and so he came down and stayed with us. But I liked him because he could make his ears wiggle, and he always made me laugh. And he never told Mom that I hated milk, and I would always take my milk and pour it on the tree that was next to me at the table, and he always saw me do it and never told my mom that I had done that. To this day, I hate milk. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like to drink a glass of milk? What? I don't even like milk in my coffee. Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know that about Greg. I didn't know that he got traded to the Giants.
Oh yeah, he was.
Does he? Seriously, does he still regret not pitching?
still regrets
Most
it.
players who were in the minors, who never got called up like this, have that thing where they think, oh, if I only had a chance, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm sure he probably thought that back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that he does anymore. Especially that he's good at what he does now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to ask him. If he ever wonders about that.
See, your mom was a cook in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, that's how Mom and Dad met.
In the Coast Guard.
Yeah, so she was a cook, and so one day the cook, it was in Norfolk, Virginia,
Okay.
and so the Coast Guard cooked for the Navy, as well as for the Coast Guard, and so my dad's going through the line, and my mother was serving that day, only because somebody was sick.
Oh,
He didn't know she was a cook, and she gave him extra mashed potatoes. and that's how they
this
started.
is how we show you how we love you, is we give you extra food, right?
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
And then he comes by one day and he goes, "Where's Marie?" And she goes, "Well, she's not a server." He goes, "What do you mean?" He said, "She's in the back. She's a cook." He goes, "Oh." He goes, "Can you ask her to come out here?" And she goes, "Well, if she's not busy." So she went back there and she got my mom. And he said to her, "Can I take you out tonight?" And so she said yes. And so they met in that area. And
Now, where was that at?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it was so
Wow.
funny because when I went to visit, do you remember the Southworths?
Yes.
Yeah. When I went to visit them, he took me there to Norfolk, Virginia. And I said, "This is where my parents met." And so we walked over to the area where they would have met, where there's still tables and chairs and all that kind of stuff. And people eating. And I just said, "Thank you for bringing me here." I said, "This is really, really nice that I get to see where they met."
Now, you said that every once in a while you like to go back and drive where you used to live, and I think
Yeah.
did your mom ever do that too? Like, did she ever go back to Norfolk and
Oh, no.
no?
My mother lived in, was born and raised in Pennsylvania. And so,
So you have Pennsylvania ties.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah. My cousin still lives up there. My cousins still live up there, my other cousins and their families. My aunt, who was my favorite aunt, I should say our favorite aunt, my sisters are my favorite aunt. She was the kind that when she came down to visit us, which they came down every summer, and we knew that she would have a suitcase full of stuff for us.
Wow.
Yeah, there would be tasty cakes. Do you remember
Oh,
those?
I do.
And the kind with the peanut butter.
Yes.
Oh, my favorite. And she would have those, and she would have licorice, the kind of licorice that when you bite into it, it's air.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you remember that?
Yes.
You can't even find that kind of licorice anymore. I love licorice.
What flavor?
Huh?
What flavor?
The red one.
The red ones?
Yeah. I don't like black licorice. I don't know why, but I don't. I like chocolate licorice,
Oh, yeah.
and I like the red licorice.
Nice.
And my favorite is the kind that's swishy, and when you bite into it, you get a fluff of flavor.
Tasty cakes.
Yeah, and tasty cakes. Yeah. Yeah. She used to bring us all of that kind of stuff. And she always brought us a pretty dress. They were wealthy. My uncle worked for Merck, Sharp and Doane. And he was not, he was kind of like high up in the company.
Mm-hmm.
So they were wealthy, and their house was absolutely beautiful. And every summer we would go up there.
Well, you didn't go up there in the winter, that's for sure.
Oh, no.
No, there's no
we
way.
never went in the winter. But we would go up there in the summertime. And Diane, my cousin that was just recently visiting with us, she goes, "Sandy, I remember you used to have this football picture of Greg from high school and a baseball picture, and that you brought them with us and you cried the whole time you were there." I said, "Yeah, I do remember that. I hated being there." As
About-
much as I love being with
About
my,
what time of, what year was this? About what year?
um,
You went back there every summer.
oh yeah,
So how far back can you remember?
um, let's see, I was born in 48. So 58, I would have been 10, right?
Right?
I remember going up there when I was 10.
So the late 1950s
Yeah,
from Florida?
yeah.
That's a drive.
It was a long drive.
Two-way drive, two-way
And
roads.
I got
Oh.
car sick.
Oh, yeah.
So
How many days did it take you? Like 4?
And my dad did not stop at hotels.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it was like drive right through.
Oh, my goodness.
Just sleep in the car. So we had our pillows and our blankets and all this stuff. But I would have to put my pillow on the, like roll the window down, put my head on the pillow, and have the air, or I would get car sick.
I get it.
And so, yeah, it was not, they weren't enjoyable trips.
You look back on them now and you go like, oh, not fun.
Not fun, not fun.
You were glad to get there.
I was very happy to get there. And my aunt lived on this big hill, and when it was like a storm was coming, you could sit in her living room and look out this big bay window across the mountains, and you could see the lightning and stuff.
So she lived close to the Pocono Mountains.
Yeah, she
And
did.
and what city?
Let me think a minute. I want to say Edgemont.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was called Edgemont. Yeah. Yeah, we'd love to go up there.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely love to go. And so Diane reminded me how I would have the pictures and I'd cry the whole time I was there because I missed them.
But the drive up there was long,
Yeah,
no air conditioning.
no air conditioning.
What kind of car did your dad have?
And no stopping.
And no stopping out.
Yeah. I don't know, it was a he worked for a car company. But we had a station wagon, I remember.
Well, at least he had that.
At least he had that. Yeah. Yeah. My dad used to work for Alpha Creamery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he went from Alpha Creamery to Budweiser.
Some guy named Budweiser.
And when he worked for Budweiser, it was like their whole life changed because he was a manager for Budweiser. And he was also a manager with the Alpha Creamery. And so he had his perks from Alpha Creamery, but then he also had his perks from Budweiser. And he got won some kind of a, I don't know, call it a contest. But they got sent to Mexico. Yeah.
Wow, what a trip in the 1950s. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they were gone a week, and I don't remember who watched us. Maybe the lady that lived behind us was like a second mother to us, Betty, and she might have watched us. I don't remember, but yeah, this is my sister. Okay, my sister has always had her own attitude, and so here we are. I'm with my mom and dad at my aunt's, and I knew my sister was doing this, but she made me swear that I wouldn't tell. She calls my mother at my aunt's from the airport and says to her, I just want you to know that I joined Up With People. Do you remember that group?
Yes.
And she goes, and I'm going to be traveling all over the world with Up With People. And it was a singing thing.
It was, but it was more
Remember
like,
the song Up
it was a bunch
With
of hippies is what it was.
Yeah, yeah. And she traveled all over the
Carolyn.
place. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. She's never, ever regretted doing that, which I don't blame her. My mother was furious.
You're calling me from the airport because I can't stop you from there.
Exactly.
2 points to Carolyn.
Yeah, yeah. My sister always did what she wanted to do, and she would figure out a way to make it happen.
There you are. Wow.
And then my sister, my best friend was Joanne, and Joanne lived on off of US 1. We lived across the railroad tracks on the other side of the railroad tracks, and so we would walk home from Coniston. Greg, if he didn't have practice, he would walk across the bridge with us to Burger King, and he would get whatever he got, but we would always get pickles and French fries, Joanne and I. And then we would sit there and have our pickles and French fries.
You like pickles?
I love
Yeah,
pickles.
see, it's funny. I love pickles too, but the rest of my family are like, no.
Really?
I get all the pickles.
You get all the
Get 'em all.
pickles. I love pickles. Yeah, I don't like dill pickles. The only kind I don't like.
Like bread and butter.
I do.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Bread and butter.
I'll take the dill pickles. We're fine.
Okay. But yeah, it was a lot of good memories. Definitely can say that.
When you I love talking about people in the past. I mean, because I was born in '57,
Uh-huh.
right? And I think that I had the best. I lived at the best time to be a kid, in the best location to be a kid. No, it's not going to happen
Where
again.
did you live?
I lived in a suburb in St. Louis,
Oh,
where everything was just right.
yeah. Yeah.
It was nowhere near wealthy at all, not at all.
Right.
But everything was just right.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen again.
Yeah.
I sort of, so I love talking to people what they went through when they were kids, because it's not going to be like that again.
Yeah. That's true.
It's not going to be like that. If somebody wants to drive to that city in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
they'll go 75, 80 miles an hour on a multi-lane highway.
Exactly. Exactly.
And when I was very young, my grandfather would take us to a fishing place in central Missouri, in Lebanon, Missouri, called Bennett Springs. It's one of the 4 or 5 state parks. And I can barely remember driving there the first time. And it was seriously like driving one of the back roads. That's all they had.
Wow.
And they were never really well maintained. And a little gas station here, a little gas station there, a little cafe here, et cetera, et cetera. And then every once in a while, the Holiday Inn.
A big deal.
Yeah. The hotels with all the doors on the outside. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think I grew up in a time when everything was the best time to have do your child. To grow up.
Exactly.
We thought we were bored to death.
Yeah.
And we were, but it was still. I stayed out. If I wanted to stay out with my friends, it was never. I never had any possibility of anybody hurting me.
Right. Yeah.
And I keep telling them, you're not going to believe this, but when I was their age and I was driving on the road, after 9 o'clock, there's hardly nobody on the road.
Oh, wow.
Even on the highways were kind of sparse.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like I didn't see too many cars. I mean, there were cars, but not many at all. So
Right.
it was just different.
Yeah.
I learned how to drive and be a really good driver by doing things you can't do now.
Wow.
So,
I remember my dad tried to teach my mom how to drive one time.
oh, really? With a manual transmission, old big old car?
Huh?
With a big old,
A big old car that, the kind of car that has the wings.
oh, yeah.
I forget what kind of car it was, but yeah. So he tried to teach her how to drive, and she finally pulled over the side of the road, and she looked at him, and she goes, "You change seats with me because I'm not learning how to drive. I don't want to learn how to drive. I'll take the bus or walk wherever I want to
There
go."
you go.
And we did. We used to have a shopping center that we would just walk out of that shopping center. There was a skating rink down there, and we had our own, they were like metal suitcases with our skates in it. And my mom had made us, what do you call those things? The things that you tie your skates with, and they were like pom-poms.
Oh, okay.
So
Maisie.
she just those, and we both had our own colors, so we knew which was which.
But, her dad was teaching her how to drive.
Yeah, that was what do you call it? That was a
A
funny.
one and done, huh?
Yeah, it was. My mother did not want to learn how to drive, and she never did. She never did learn how to drive.
I think Joe was kind of mad at me when my Uncle Claude passed away.
When what?
My Aunt Joan was kind of mad at me when my uncle passed away. She goes, "You men, you drive everywhere. I haven't driven in 40 years."
Oh my goodness. She's mad at you?
She was, right in front of her.
Oh goodness. Are those the stuff you bought for me?
Yep. You smell it? There's your card.
Good size little
Oh, thank
boats.
So this is, so you've been doing all this, I was gonna come home and, so I wasn't gonna have a repeat
All
of
of
some
them knows
stories.
they're happening. It's a
Huh?
secret.
Oh. Okay, well,
But no, I've just been talking about where she lived at and everything. And I'm just curious about one thing. When you guys go to the Bahamas, who do you go with?
A George and Debbie.
Who then?
George and Debbie.
And are they the one? But he's not the one who got Greg into the boats, though.
No,
No, okay. I got
No.
those two guys confused.
yeah. But he's a very wealthy man. He lives in Orlando. But he also now lives in Wellington. So he has a beautiful home in Wellington. And I haven't even seen it yet. When they were building their home in Wellington, it's right, yeah, like their daughter lives in this home, and they lived with her for a while they were building this home. And so you go down this little dirt road, and one way you go to her daughter's, and the other way you go to their house. And so their little granddaughter, if she wants to come over and be with them, their daughter calls and say, "Okay, she's coming." I can't remember her name. And so Debbie will go out, and then she'll come, and she'll, even though there's no traffic whatsoever, she'll say, "You've got to look both ways," and she'll look, little girl will look both ways, and then she goes, "Okay, come on." So anyway, she built a room for her to be able to get her own bedroom, and they built a bedroom for Greg and I. Now we've never been there, but I guess at some point we'll go there. But or she says to me, "If they go to camp, just go ahead and come down and be with me." But anyway, what was I telling you about this place? I lost my train of thought.
While the house was being built, they were living with the daughter, and
Yeah, and so now I haven't actually seen the house that's finished.
but you have a room there and
We have our own
their
bedroom.
granddaughter has her own room
And
there.
she not only has her own bedroom, the granddaughter, but she has another little room. And I said to Debbie, "What is this room going to be?" And she goes, "Oh, that's for her dolls." And I went, "Her dolls? What are those dolls called?"
The American Girl dolls?
American Girl
Yeah.
dolls. Someone had given Debbie all these American Girl dolls.
Wow.
And so they made a room just for the American Girl dolls. So when she comes, she can go in that room and play with her American Girl dolls.
That's amazing.
And you know they have like a dresser in there, so all their clothes are in dressers. And she's got to clean up after she plays with them. So she's it's neat, you know.
I found out how her dad asked her mom out.
What? How's that?
Let me tell her.
Yeah, tell again, please.
My mom was in the Coast Guard, and she was a cook, and my dad was in the Navy, and in Norfolk, Virginia. That's where they met, and so my dad's going through the line, and my mother gives my dad extra mashed potatoes, and so he's coming back through the line another time, and she wasn't on the line. And so he says to the lady, "Where's Marie?" And she goes, "Oh, she was just filling in for someone. She isn't a server. She's a cook." And he goes, "Oh, can you go back and ask her if she'll come out here?" And she goes, "Well, if she can, I don't know." And so she went back, got my mom. My mom came out, and he asked her out.
Oh.
So that's how they met. Norfolk, Virginia.
You owe your entire existence to extra mashed potatoes.
Oh, she gave him extra mashed potatoes,
Nice.
not just the regular
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. She gave him extra
You owe your whole life
to mashed
extra
potatoes.
mashed potatoes.
That's true. yeah, so that was how they started together.
I think we only got to like 1968 or something like that.
That's when we got married.
That's it. No, that's like the last, the furthest you and I were talking about.
We get to start all over.
Greg's golden football is somewhere, right?
His what?
His golden football is somewhere.
It's somewhere. It's got to be somewhere. I mean, I was telling Greg that in Coniston, the junior high school we went to, if you were dating a football player, you got his gold football. So he gave me his gold football. And, you know, I wore it proudly. And we had the little polishing cloths, and you were always polishing the gold footballs. And I have no idea where that gold football is.
Oh,
And I'm so sad. And I'm thinking, it's got to be somewhere. I thought it was at Greg's mom's. But when Greg's brother moved out of there, I said, oh my gosh, go through your mom's stuff and see if my gold football's there. And he goes, it's not. So I have no idea where it is.
oh.
You know, I'll have to look up in the attic sometime. But not that I could get up in the attic, but somebody could. Yeah, I would love to find that gold football.
We get